Hi, I'm Brittany, and in this video I want to talk about how to overcome heartbreak and reclaim your awesome self. So heartbreak can be one of those emotions that kind of lingers on for a while, or keeps being repeated, or it's something that really sucks. And I have learned some ways to get out of it almost instantly over time with practice. So I really want to share these with you because I don't want anyone's little hearts being broken anymore. And you can find new ways to be in situations where you no longer need to feel heartbroken, even if heartbreaking things are happening around you. But number one, okay, so step one is just acknowledge what you're feeling. Whether you are lying on the floor crying in despair, or you're just a little bit mad. Maybe you feel some regret, like, oh, I should have done this, or I shouldn't have done this. Or maybe you're just like a little bit sad, where you're going through your day-to-day life just with a little bit less love in your heart because of whatever has happened. So whatever you're feeling right now, the number one step that you have to do is just acknowledge and accept it for what it is. So rather than being mad at yourself, saying, well, why are you on the floor crying still? You've done so much work on yourself. Why are you letting this man or woman affect you in this way? Like, you're stupid, you're bad, just get over it. Okay, cancel out that negative voice and be there for yourself in this difficult time. Say to yourself, I love you. I accept you. It's okay. I'm here for you. I'll always be here for you. Say what you feel you need your partner to be saying to you. Say everything that you need to hear. And what happens when you do this is like miraculous. It's amazing. It's like coming home to yourself. When you say to yourself, I love you and I will always be there for you no matter what you're going through, it's almost like then you're not sad anymore, because that was all you were wanting to hear in the first place, but you were wanting it from someone else. And you have the ability to be your own cheerleader, to be your own lover, to be your own positive talking person in your head. You can do it. So in that moment of despair or in anger and regret, just say to yourself, it's okay and I'm here for you. And just accept that you are not a perfect human being, no one is. And you're going through some heartbreak right now, and that's okay. You're doing the best you can. So step one, acceptance and acknowledgement of what you're feeling. Because often we get mad at ourselves for feeling a certain way when we can't really help it. We're doing our best, right? Or we refuse to even acknowledge what we're feeling. So we go through our day-to-day lives feeling heartbroken, not even allowing ourselves to feel it. So we kind of grow cold, or we block it out, or whatever. So I'm just saying, you got to feel it first, acknowledge it, accept it. That's step one of my clearing heartbreak advice, okay? So step two is another healing strategy that I do to myself, not just for heartbreak, with any type of negative emotion that you're feeling. So what you do is you stay in this feeling place of whatever that you're feeling. You're feeling sadness, despair, anger, frustration, regret, whatever it is, and go into that feeling and try to remember the first time in your life that you can remember feeling that negative feeling. Okay? And usually when you find that first memory of where you were feeling this feeling, that memory usually caused some damage in your psyche and somewhere in your unconscious mind that is actually recreating this situation that's creating the negative feeling over and over. So if you can go back to this memory, and usually it's going to be early childhood stuff. Something happened in your early childhood that was emotionally damaging, maybe physically damaging even. Something traumatic happened and you are recreating the situation over and over again, and it's showing up in your relationships, because usually our relationships and the pain that we experience in our relationships is something that is coming from early childhood messages that we have taken on unconsciously. So step 2 is try to remember the first time you remember feeling this emotion. So I'll just use an example, like, okay, you're feeling really, really sad. Go back to the first time you ever remember feeling really, really sad. What was going on? What were you doing? Okay, I was a little girl. I'm crying in my bed. I feel alone. I feel unloved. I feel like no one is there for me. And then what you do is you talk to yourself like you did in the first step, except now you're talking to your inner child. And you say to your inner child, I love you, it's okay, I'm here for you, you know, you don't have to be sad forever. You know, what you're feeling is real and valid, but I love you and I'm always here for you and you're never alone, okay? And just send healing to that early memory, okay? So that's step 2, is healing the original wound that can likely be recreating this situation. Okay, step 3 is where we get into the fun stuff, where we get out of the heartbreak, because if you stay there for too long, you're gonna keep recreating more and more heartbreak. So we wanna get through those 2 processes, the first 2, as fast as we can, because we don't wanna stay heartbroken. We got shit to do here. We have positivity to spread. We have people to meet and stuff to do. We don't wanna stay heartbroken for a long time. So do those 2 processes as fast as you possibly can and get onto this one. And what this one is reclaiming your own power, putting your happiness back into your own hands again. Because what happens when we're heartbroken is we're giving someone else a whole lot of power over us, because we're giving them the power over how we feel. And that is actually something that is completely in our control at all times, how we are feeling. So what you have to do is just realize that you have the ability to feel in love under any circumstance. Whether your lover actually loves you or whether they don't, you can still feel in love. And you have this power. And I'll give you an example. So, okay, when you were a little kid, let's say you didn't have a lover, you weren't in love, you didn't have your husband or your boyfriend or the love of your life or whoever. You maybe had your brothers and sisters, or maybe you were the only child, you had no one, and you had your parents or whatever, but you still felt feelings of love. Whether you were playing outside, having a whole lot of fun, or you were playing with your Barbies, or you were, you know, with your mom and dad and they were giving you love and appreciation and you felt that back, you had the ability, even before any relationship ever existed, to be in love. And, or another example, like when you're watching a romantic movie or listening to a love song and you get those feelings of love in your heart. You can do that on your own, and you don't actually need another person to be loving you in order to feel in love. And this is how you take your own power back, is you realize that no one actually has any control over how you feel. And other people can be breaking your heart every day, all the time, and you can choose how to respond to it. So realizing that you are a powerful creator and you are creating your own feelings with your thoughts, and then thinking thoughts that feel better to you. And I'm not saying go totally delusional or anything and start thinking things that aren't true, but actually that is what I'm saying. I am absolutely saying that. Maybe don't tell everybody that's what you're doing inside your head, but you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing inside your head. It's your head. So you can think thoughts that your lover loves you or that they don't. You can think thoughts that your lover has left you or that they're there with you. You can think thoughts that you are in a happy, long-term, committed relationship, Or you can think thoughts that you will never be loved in your entire life because you're unlovable or not good enough or whatever. You can choose what thoughts you want to think. And I promise you that if you spend a hell of a lot more time thinking thoughts that feel good to you about relationships, thinking thoughts about being in love, thinking thoughts about whatever type of relationship would give you pleasure. If you spend more time in those thoughts than in the thoughts of being lonely and heartbroken, eventually the lonely and heartbroken thoughts will subside, maybe not totally, but they will get less and less, and you will end up creating your perfect relationship that you're desiring. And that comes to my last principle, which is just acknowledging the law of attraction. And what the law of attraction is that like attracts like. When we're thinking and feeling thoughts of being heartbroken, we're actually attracting more situations and circumstances that are going to make us feel heartbroken. When we're thinking thoughts of being in love and how much love we feel and how much love we feel for ourselves and other people, we're creating experiences that are going to bring us more love. So one of the deep truths of the universe is that we are powerful creators creating our reality, and we have this ability to create what we want. So if you really want to be done with your heartbreak, you have to stop playing the victim. You have to stop blaming other people for your own misery, which is really hard because we've been taught as humans to actually do this, to blame other people for our own misery. And it's such a normal thing. Like, you can go around, you can overhear conversations, people, oh, my boyfriend, he cheated on me, he did this to me, and he's such a horrible man, and, you know, I feel so heartbroken, it's all his fault, you know, and it's, yeah, that sucks, and maybe it wasn't a good thing for your boyfriend to do, but you have the ability and power to feel however you want to feel. And on a deeper level, you are somehow creating this situation, because we are creating everything. And like, if you were being cheated on or treated badly or something like that, there's some part of you that is treating yourself badly, or there's some part of yourself that you don't fully love, or there's some part of yourself that doesn't fully trust in healthy, happy relationships. There's some part of you that actually unconsciously expected that to happen to you, and that's why it happened. It's not this evil other person who's creating heartbreak for you. It's actually you creating your own circumstances and situations in life. And that can go for any situation, not just heartbreak, but you are so powerful. And when you play the victim, you're giving your power away to someone else, and you're saying that they are doing something to you, when really, if you think different thoughts and start actually believing that you're worthy of the relationship that you want, that you're worthy of the love of your life, these situations aren't going to happen anymore. When you actually come to believe and expect that you are going to have this love of your life, it will happen, okay? And you just need to believe. And once you believe, watch how fast it comes to you. And you might have to do some work on yourself first, though, because you might have a lot of negative early messages, like from the first 2 steps. You might have a lot of negative emotions that are actually blocking you from the relationship that you want. And that's what happened with me. Like, I'm not just talking about the subject of heartbreak because it's something I see other people going through. This is something that has been a major life theme for me, is either being heartbroken myself, watching other people go through heartbreak, or maybe even being the one who's breaking the hearts. And I'm talking to you people too, that you heartbreakers out there. Usually when you're in situations where you're either breaking someone's heart or you are the heartbreaker, there's a lot of stuff that needs healing in your heart, okay? And anyway, so that's a whole subject of many videos. This is a hugely complex subject, but anyways, these are 4 steps that I have found to completely work at actually instantly healing a broken heart. And I don't care what's happened to you, if you're just a little bit heartbroken or if you're like majorly heartbroken. If you do this, it will work and it will help. And eventually, when you have more belief in your ability to create the relationship that you want, then your belief that you need to be heartbroken your whole life, eventually the heartbreak will end, the relationship that you're wanting will come into your life. And another thing, like when you're fully happy in your life and you fully love yourself, you love your physical self, you love your emotional self, you just love what you do in your life, you love your work, you love everything, you love where you live, you won't be in a place of attracting a relationship that will make you feel bad anymore. Usually when we're attracting a relationship that's making us feel bad, it's a mirror of something in our lives, in ourselves, that we still feel bad about. So once we can completely heal ourselves, feel good about ourselves, feel good about our whole life, we won't attract heartbreak any longer. So even if you're not going to do any of these steps, just work on yourself and work on your own happiness, and you won't attract heartbreak anymore. Okay, so I think that's all I want to say. So step 1 is acknowledge and accept your feeling of heartbreak or whatever feeling you're feeling. Step 2 is try to go back to the earliest memory you can where you were feeling that feeling and do a healing on yourself. Talk to yourself then, say it's okay. Heal that early memory that somehow traumatized you and is recreating this negative emotion. Step 3, realize that you are powerful and you can feel in love in any situation. Step 4, realize the law of attraction is at work, and if you stay in your heartbreak, you're going to keep attracting more heartbreak. And if you can think thoughts of being in love, and these two are kind of intertwined, you will attract the love that you want. Anyways, I hope that was helpful, and I hope that everybody who watched this can feel a little bit better about their heartbreak that they feel or have felt, and have some hope that they do have power in this situation and they can take their power back and create the love that they are wanting. Okay, I love you. Bye.